Don't touch that one, don't touch that one, don't touch that one, and definitely don't touch that one. We're talking players to avoid today. What's happening, everybody? 1 week from football. It's too much fantasy football. Brian, Brennen, you listening. Here we go. Players to avoid is what we're talking about today. How are we doing today, man?
You know, a draft day keeps the wife away, so.
The amount of annoyed looks I'm getting, like she'll be talking and I'll be on my phone and I just look up on eye contact. She goes, "Are you drafting?" Damn Skippy, lady. Damn Skippy. Yes, we are in the thick of it, folks. If you haven't started draft season, means you're not in enough leagues, folks. We need to be drafting. We're going wild, whether it be with the home leagues, the office leagues, or just those random ones we find online because we're degenerates and we can't help ourselves. But we are here to talk about those players to stay away from, those players that aren't going to help your team, the ones that maybe they're not even bad picks, but they're just not good picks. You know, they're not inspiring that championship winning aura that we're wanting on our team. And Brennan, that's what we get from too much fantasy football, ain't that right?
That's true.
That's true. That's true. All the excitement right there, folks. That's what you're getting from him over there. Yeah. That's right. He's holding it back because we've got so much excitement with these picks that we have to talk about a little bit of news because it's money time. The bag has finally been passed. Did anybody believe it wasn't going to happen? That's right. Terry McLaurin. Cha-ching.
3 years, $96 million. If I had to guess, it's probably almost fully guaranteed or pretty close to it, right?
I'd hope so. Like,
it basically just beats the franchise tag. It's all it really is.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I first heard 3 years, I was like, all right, cool. So it's probably a 2-year deal, essentially a glorified, like you said, a franchise tag, what they would do over the next 2 years. So I'm happy they got it done. He is 30 years old, but they've got a rookie. They've got some coin. They just let everybody go. So pay your guy. Make sure you don't leave your star quarterback with nothing out there, and go compete in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I agreed. I don't think this moves Terry at all. I think Terry was still properly going right where he's supposed to, like that, like early, late third, early fourth, like just like your wide receiver 2. He's a great wide receiver 2, a lot of upside, but also like he has shown times where it can kind of bite you in the butt. But you know, it's perfect wide receiver 2.
He might find himself on this show with or without the money. I like the player. I like what he does for the team, but for my fantasy team, I don't know. Speaking of fantasy teams, let's talk about New Orleans. Somebody who won't really bring anything to our fantasy teams, just like they're not bringing a starting quarterback. Do we know who that is yet?
I don't know. They haven't really said it yet, which is kind of odd because they're the last team. It's August 25th, and season's a week away from really starting. I get, like, the beat writers are really weird about this. Rattler has performed the best at practice, but Tyler Shuck was taken in the second round, and he did show some flashes in preseason games. Like, it's a mess. It's awful, and I'm sure this is not where they want to be. I mean, I think they're the best odds for having the number 1 overall pick next year. So, yeah, it is frustrating. I do agree with that. If I had to pick, I guess I want to say Rattler is going to be the starter, which is not good.
It's not good, but maybe that's inevitably what we need to see because Shucks, I mean, he's an early second round pick. They're probably going to be picking another quarterback at the top of the first round this next year, I would imagine. But it also seems like Kellen Moore has this idea that he's got a competitor in his hands. Like, not only were they in the Brian Robinson franchise or the sweepstakes for that trade, but they traded a 4th and a 7th for Devon Vele,
who's 27,
7-year-old wide receiver. George Pickens, who is 24, just went for a 3rd round pick. Is that correct?
Yes, and is a lot better.
Yeah, so I don't get why this seemed like that 4th round pick that they just gave up. It's probably going to be pick what, 98, 99 overall. Like, come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I that trade was just so stupid. I'm sure Denver was just like, "You're gonna give us a 4th for a 27-year-old? I'll say less."
Right? They're like, "Oh, we don't have any money for the future. Why do we need picks? Kellen Moore, let's just screw your first shot at a head coaching gig."
There's a potential he could have been cut too, just because of all the other players there, like Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. They have a ton of wide receiver room. It's just, yeah. I'm sure Saints fans were very baffled. I saw online, and I don't blame them. Yikes.
Baffling too. We finally see Kendre Miller land as the RB2 on that team. Woohoo!
My boy, all it takes is to stay on the field and not have Dennis Allen as your head coach.
All right, 3 years later.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Mixon looks like we'll be missing the first 4 games of the season. Had we done this show sooner, we would have been talking about Mixon, leading up to it. He has been a fear for, I believe, both of our boards going all through the summer. So it's just kind of like, now it makes it easier. We don't have to speculate at all.
Yeah, in both my big leagues, he went 6th round, which we all were like shaking our head, like, that's early. And then this last draft, he went in the 8th, which is like, it's all right. Like, that's okay. He's on your bench. He'll sit there and he'll wait.
Yeah, for sure. Yikes. Jawan Jennings, it's not looking good for the 49ers receiving room. We got Ricky! That's about it. But Jawan Jennings, going to miss in a few weeks, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco just did a bunch of things here. One, they traded for Brian Robinson. So we forgot about that. Yeah. So, that running back room is diminished because Isaac Grendo's out a lot longer now. The rookie from Oregon, Jordan James, right? Am I saying that? Or is it Jordan James? Yep. He's going to be out for some time. And then they signed some dude off the streets and he got injured at practice. I forgot who it was. It was the name. It's like Patrick one of those Taylor? Things. Was it? It was somebody else. I thought too. They got injured as well.
I'm trying to think too. It's.
Yeah, I'm for. It's a nobody name. It wasn't going to be anybody relevant. Well, I mean, it actually could be relevant, but no. Brian Robinson goes. Backfield, yeah. Brian Robinson goes to the Niners. I think I still like CMC where he's at. I think it's CMC till the day I die because Shanahan loves himself. And there's bell cow running back.
How do you look at this too? Because there's several different ways you can. Of course, CMC often gets hurt. It's going to be great to have his backup. And he's going right in that realm of backup running backs, kind of like a Charbonnet-esque. There's really high-end upside guys. But at the same time, this is a player that just got traded for, a 6th-round pick?
Yeah.
A 7th-round overall draft pick. He clearly isn't bulletproof. We've seen that. So how good is he really? His metrics last year were not great. So is this just hey, who cares? He's in the 49ers system, so if he's the starter at some point because of an injury, he's going to be worth it? Or should we be fading that idea and just maybe I don't get that backup, but I grab one of the other backups later on because it's just a revolving door?
I looked at it more as like Brian Robinson can still get the tough yards. Like I think like that's where they might put him at is like the 3rd and 1, the short yardage situations, just kind of keep McCaffrey as healthy as possible. So I still like Isaac Guerrero more, just because he showed a lot more boom and he's been in the system for a little bit longer. So Brian Robinson.
With Guerrero. If you didn't watch the Combine 2 years ago, Guerrero put on a show for us, folks.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. I still think, Brian Robinson is a name, so I think he'll still be drafted before. I just took CMC and I took Brian Robinson as well.
We both did this weekend.
Yeah,
grab that security blanket.
I just grab the security blanket. He is the one I would own for a handcuff. It's hard to own. Like another one too would be Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet, but it's really tough to own that as well.
Charbonnet might turn into a flex, a flexi pick. Something that just all of a sudden you're in a 12-team league and you're getting decent numbers out of him. A double flex play. I'm not sure where that's going to go, but I'm confident he's going to be involved and he's going to be good out there.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Big D. Go to Dallas. What happened to your fella out there?
You're my boy, Blue!
Dude, Jaden Blue, man. They're hoping he plays week 1, which obviously it's on a Thursday. It's in Philadelphia. He's their best chance, him or Phil Maffa, to be the backfield because Javonte Williams is not good. Brian will be giving me some sort of compensation for thinking otherwise. So, yeah.
Yeah, either way, even if Blue is hurt and he's not out there the first couple of weeks, Javonte Williams is going to give him ample opportunities to carve out a role in that job at some point this season.
Yeah, because it's him, Miles Sanders, and Phil Maffa. I think Phil Maffa and Miles Sanders are on the bubble, from my understanding. Those are the two.
That would sound right. I wasn't really Phil Maffa. He didn't move the needle for me this offseason. We were looking into rookies.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, hey, it could happen. But, I think if he doesn't play week 1, I wasn't starting Blue week 1 in any of my leagues, maybe like a 16-team league. But yeah, I think he's one of those guys you just hold. How I view him is like Brian, cover your ears. It's like fantasy baseball, the top prospect, right? You took him a little bit late. You just got to wait and see what he does.
Baseball, it's so dumb. Freaking hit the ball with a stick. Come on, it's not like
Defying physics. Yes, I know.
it's. Come on, there's nothing. It's no fun.
Yeah.
Last two teams we have got the Dolphins. Look, they were on the sweepstakes as well for Brian Robinson. We've got Achane dealing with the calf injury. Should be ready for week 1, maybe not. Those scare the bejeebers out of me. Wright just looks like he's left or wrong. The second running back there. And then also Madison out for the season. What do we got there? We've got Ollie Gordon the second. 7th round draft pick. Horrible draft capital. But this guy could have been a day 1, day 2 pick if he would have come out last year.
Yeah,
if
crazy.
he would have come out last year. Absolutely insane. Was it second year there in Ohio or Oklahoma State?
Yes.
Comes back, does another year, and it wasn't as hot. But this guy, complete opposite of Devon Achane. This guy's built. He's big. He will be the goal line back if it's the two of them. How much of a role does he truly carve out, not being that pass-catching back that Achane is, and that offensive line is hot garbage?
Abysmal.
So, yeah, I guess 10-team league, I don't think you're really considering Ollie Gordon, unless we hear more injury speculation, but 12-team. He's one of those kind of...
Yeah, if he gets some touches like week 1 over Wright, which Wright might miss time, but if he gets like, I don't know, 6-7 touches, like, yeah, I'm going to throw in a little waiver wire. But like, I'll be honest with you, my big money leagues, he got taken in both. He got taken late in the last round for mine. So I couldn't even try to snag him.
I've seen him go between the 8th and the 10th. Yeah, he is coming off the board. Now, these 2 leagues that I'm in, they're more, we'll go quote unquote expert leagues. These are degenerates, people that know more than everybody else kind of people. So, we start pulling the trigger more than we should. I've seen Krosky Merritt go way earlier than he should as well. So I wouldn't quite pull the trigger that early. He's not a high-end handcuff for me, but there's possibilities. Kid's talented.
Yeah, so he's a wait and see for me.
Finally, let's go to Denver. Let's talk about a wait and see. That's Harvey. Clearly, he is going to wait and see how good he is because Dobbins will be the starter in Denver. Harvey's the backup. Obviously, they're both going to be involved. That's how Sean Payton works. So, is that really a bad thing that he's not the starter?
I mean, I think people are still taking Harvey before Dobbins because just the pure upside. Like, we've seen Dobbins, and it was good for the Chargers for a good amount of weeks. I mean, then he can't handle a full, bell cow type of role. I think a lot of people are just more excited on the shiny new toy. They've seen the old busted toy, and he's still reliable, but they want the shiny new toy in hopes that it's becoming Alvin Kamara. Genuinely, I had to put the comparison there because a lot of people just think Sean Payton, 2 running back system, Alvin Kamara for RJ Harvey.
Woo.
That's not what I want.
Clearly not going to be Mark Ingram. That's J.K. Dobbins over there.
Yeah, clearly.
I think the big thing for me will be platform. Unfortunately, I don't play much on ESPN where he's going 7-12. I'll take a shot at Harvey at the 7-8 turn. That's great.
Absolutely,
Whereas the other 2 platforms, Yahoo and Sleeper, he's going at the 5-6 turn. It's kind of a different conversation. You're still drafting starters at the point, and Harvey might have flexi options all year. He might just give you that RB3 with some upside there, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, you taking RJ Harvey or Tony Pollard?
I was going to ask you because in my league, RJ Harvey went before James Conner, so
that seems you're shooting for upside there. You are 100% shooting for upside. James Conner just seems to be too consistent without an injury to mitigate that.
Yeah, so I'm still taking James Conner. I do like Harvey, but I just think RJ Harvey has like a spot for me where I just feel very comfortable taking him at.
RJ Harvey or Jalen Warren?
Oh, RJ Harvey. I'm not.
Yeah.
Nah, don't care about the Caleb Johnson news.
Tyrone Tracy?
I think I'll take Harvey. Yeah.
I will too. That's purely
Upside.
a better team. Yeah, the way better team. So I'm just going to kind of lay it on that one. Well, sweet. I think it's time to get any other news for. Oh, Marvin Mims. Looks like he's finally going to get the snaps and be wide receiver 2. Like a meaningful wide receiver 2. Not like he was last year with 27% snaps.
Yeah, he definitely has been. I think they said that he was on the field like 100% of the snaps or something like that for practice with the one. So like it's great news. Yeah, I mean, take him late flyer, like in the the double digit rounds, perfect to have. Something happens to Cortland Sutton. I don't expect him to be Cortland Sutton, but nice to have.
That's the hard part is you've got the touchdown guy with Sutton, you've got
Mhm.
the receptions with Evan Ingram, and
Yep.
then you also have Pat Bryant back there who can get involved. We also have Troy Franklin who can get involved. So Marvin Mims might be a rotational wide receiver too, more for the team than an actual fantasy wide
Fantasy.
receiver too.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Sweet. All right, let's talk about some of these bad guys, the ones that just hurt your team last year, the graveyard, if you will. Let's stay out
Mhm.
of it. Yeah, that's right. It's Fantasy Avoid. We're staying away from some of these players. Brennen and I both have about five-ish players we're going to throw out here. Ones that we just have not been taking in fantasy drafts, whether it be because I think they're going to be a complete dud or because their draft cost just isn't good. Let's dive into the first, though. Who do you have for us?
Let's just do the first one that we both like it was low hanging fruit and talk about together because we both were just like, yeah, it's clear as day, obvious. It's James Cook. Um, for me, like why James Cook? Obviously, it's great he got the extension. I was, where he was going, 16 touchdowns, 2 to 16 that was his career. Like, uh, there's guys. I view James Conner. We were just talking about James Conner James Conner, James Cook, James
James. I, I think it's bold to say I would take James Conner over James Cook. It might be a little,
Rich.
yes, but I don't have a problem with it. Depending on what's sitting in front of you, I don't hate it. There's probably going to be some other guys I'd like in between those two, but if I have to pick between those two, I might pick James Conner.
Yeah, like on sleeper right now, he's James Cook's going ahead of Amari Hampton, Brees
No,
Hall,
yeah,
Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker,
no.
Chuba, and then like Travion. Yeah, I James Cook to me, I think there's more upside with other guys. I guess you can say his role is safe with Josh Allen and everything else like that. I just think with the OC, he's very much shown that he's willing to work in other running backs too.
Can he have a better season than he did last year? So the last 2 years, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,100 yards rushing. But then last year we did that with the 16 touchdowns, 32 receptions. I don't know if it. Granted, it garners a fantasy 8 finish. That's good. That's awesome. I don't see him finishing much higher than that. 250 yards through the air. It's not bad, but
Nope.
I don't see him being a 14, 1,500 yard guy. And
No.
16 touchdowns, I would never bet ever that he would get over 15 again, you know?
I want to know what his line is for touchdowns because I think if he got 10 touchdowns, like I'd be like, holy crap, it's a lot still. Like I think for me it's more closer. I think I had him project him at like 8 or 9. That was where I had him projected at. For me, like you are taking the hugest upside for him to hopefully pan out again to be what he was last year, and I just don't see that happening again.
He's about 8.5, depending on the
Yep.
books you're looking at.
Yeah, I think I projected for 8. So taking the
Yeah,
under.
when it comes down to it, like Chase Brown's going a little bit ahead of him. I'd much rather have Chase Brown.
Yep.
Kyron Williams, I think they're about the same, and Kyron's quarterback doesn't steal rushing touchdowns from him.
This is
Amari
true.
Hampton's right behind him. It seems like a very kind of, no, I was almost going to say a Bucky Irving pick. Like, they can finish as an RB1, but how high of an RB1?
Hmm.
I'd give Bucky ceiling a bit higher, but
I agree.
just an early, unsexy pick,
Yeah, I agree.
despite him having the bag.
This is true. Good for him though. Get paid. All
Hey,
for it.
go for it, buddy. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Your brother Dalvin's over there jobless. So you got to pick up the slack for his lazy ass. Come on.
Dalvin also had a hell of a career and was everyone's like favorite running back to grab, and he was one of mine for sure. I love Dalvin with Minnesota,
Gone.
and just gone. That's what happens to running backs, unfortunately.
Let's go ahead and start with some quarterback or go into some quarterbacks. I want to throw out my first one. I feel like we're pretty lined up here. We're not going to take the easy chalk with the Baker quarterback section. So I'm going to go with the guy that, like, for the most of his career, I have just talked crap on. I have made fun of him. I've just this, and that. I've come around to him. Hard Knocks will do that to you when they really, humanize some of these players. I feel like I just can't call them dumb all the time. But let's go with Jared Goff. Let's talk some Jared Goff here. Hard thing is his ADP has dropped a bit. He is now average QB 13, which I think is a lot healthier. It's closer. We were closer to QB 9 when we first picked out these guys. But when you're going around a Justin Fields with the immense rushing upside, he's a trap. I get it. He can't throw the ball. But you also have Dak Prescott going just before him. You have Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Drake May. So much just ceiling. And I don't know how much more, like Jared Goff, I think these last two, I don't know if that we'll ever see seasons like we did these last 2 years. Between the optimal of how the team was built and what they had at their disposal between draft picks and money and age. Also, you had Ben Johnson there. There was so much going right that I think that was the peak of what we're ever going to see from Jared Goff. And I think that QB 10-ish is like our the upside that I'm looking at for him.
Yeah, like for me, when I see he finishes QB 6 the past year, QB 7 the year before, then QB 10 the previous one, I think QB 10 is like his absolute ceiling. I think last year, I think what it was for me is like Ben Johnson's a hell of a play caller. I think with all of that, he has great weapons. He still has everything there. They did take kind of a bump in the O line, losing Ragnow, right? Was he retired? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, their center.
Second round pick, which is it's still gonna be a nice fill, and he's got plenty of guys to help him out. For me, I think what helped Jared Goff a lot was having a ton of time to throw, weapons that are speedy guys on the outside, having Laporta. They're still all there. I just think it's going to be a question mark of, does this new coordinator have the same alignment with Jared Goff? Like, I think they will. I think it's going to be a slow start. I just see more so of the season of 2022 with 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He still knows how to hold the ball properly. I can't see almost 40 touchdowns again. I just genuinely can't.
Well, and so much of it is they had to do that. It wasn't that this team was just so fueled and so built up. No, this defense was just decimated. They were putting out players that should never be starting for NFL. Like, it was so bad. This team was number 1 in points scored last year. They were number 1 in plays called last year. Dan Campbell does not want to rock that. He's not that traditional where, he's Arthur Smith, but the guy still wants to control the pace of the game, control the ball. He doesn't want to have to go out there and score 33 points a game. He's going to be much happier with the 24 points a game because they're, holding it with their defense. So I think that he's coming out of, whereas Burrow, we're still projecting him to be in that situation where he has to win the game. Goff won't have to win the game.
Yeah, what's funny is I was going to point it out to you. So their first 4 weeks, he actually wasn't good at all. Like 12 points, 10 points, 15, 27 against Seattle, which is great. But Dallas, the week against Dallas is when it changes. Aiden Hudson broke his leg. It was really, really bad. After that, he averaged a minimum, it looks like, of at least 3 touchdowns a game passing. A minimum. I don't see 3 touchdowns
a game. 2 games where he wasn't throwing multiple touchdowns the rest of the fantasy season?
Yeah, so week 9 against Green Bay, he had 1, and then against Indy, but the reason why he didn't do it against Indy because the defense they didn't have to. They didn't have to. Everything after that, though, it was 2, 3, 5, 3, 3. And it's because the defense was so bad that he had to literally keep the team going. So yeah,
I just don't think they're going to need that from him, which... Stay away. He's just not He's not exciting. He's not electric. He could get you a 30-point game, but chances are I'd rather bet on other players.
Yes.
All right. Who do you have? Who's your who's your quarterback you want to throw out there?
It's really odd because I hated him coming out of college. He had a nickname from Ole Miss that I'm not going to say on the air here, but obviously it was really rough 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'll say, for a season. After that, became QB7. It's Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is in a very, very good spot. I like Bo Nix with Sean Payton. I think it's a match made in heaven for him. I still want to take guys like Kyler, who I know can do it, because I'm not saying, sophomore slump. Why I'm saying for Bo Nix is because the team got better around him. He's going to start doing less. Like we just talked about with Jared Goff. This team they got the safety Hufanga from San Francisco, who's a really good safety. Plays at an all-pro level. And then they got Greenlaw, the linebacker, who plays at an all-pro level. They already had the most sacks last year. They kept all the same guys.
Drafted another corner in the first round.
Drafted another lockdown premier quarter in, what's his name, from Texas. Why am I drawing a blank?
Cornerback Ian.
Yeah. So now they have
offense on this show, okay?
Jahdae Barron. It's Barron. Thank you. I know. So now they have him. They have a really good secondary. They have a great front seven. A lot of people are taking Denver with the first pick for first defense off the board because it's just going to be a set and hold. Don't worry about it. They have I just think Bo Nix is going to do a lot less. And now I'm not saying he's not going to be a bad quarterback. You're just not going to get these like boom games where it's going to be shootouts. This defense is going to keep them in the game.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be games that are going to require him to put the team on his back.
Yes.
Every now and then, for the most part, he was getting 35, 25, 47, 36 yards, 23, 25, 31. It's a great floor.
Yes.
And if he could still give you that, I just don't think that he's going to have, to finish out the year, he had 3 touchdowns, 2, 3, 4, multiple 4-touchdown games. I just don't know if they're going to need that from him. If this team is absolutely dominant on the defensive end, he throws a touchdown, maybe 180 yards, and then the running backs do the rest. That's all they need from him. So it may just not be as consistent. He may finish as QB8, right around where you draft him. But just like Kyler finished QB10 last year, you were not happy with Kyler.
You weren't happy because it was just so inconsistent.
Yeah, maybe there was enough spikes in there to keep that overall that height up there with the rushing average. But yeah, you weren't exactly thrilled with it. And when I've got guys going just behind that in key pieces that you could be drafting. I think the funniest part though too is, so you look at his ADP. He's going in the 6th round on Yahoo, 7th on ESPN, 8th on Sleeper, and then 9th on Underdog. Different platform there with Underdog, but you kind of see the sharpness with some of those platforms in the player. And I think that's where it makes more sense in the Sleeper Underdog routes than the other ones.
Yes, I agree.
Cool. What else you got for Bo?
That's all I really have for Bo. Let's talk about your next guy because it's a little controversial in my opinion.
A little spicy. But look, folks, we're trying not to give you the same episode everybody else is giving you here. So let's open up the conversation, and let's also open up our minds a little bit before you start hitting me in the comments there. I hear you listening.
There's my tinfoil hat too.
Let's go ahead and get it.
Yeah, because this one needs it for this one.
All right, so Ashton Genty. Yes, we're going to talk about him on the Avoids episode. Maybe we should put the Kevlar vest on, too. Get ready for this. So right now we got Bijan, Saquon, Gibbs, CMC, Henry, and then Genty going. Now, I'm not saying he can't finish up there, but the chances of him finishing above 6 are a lot lower than him finishing at or below 6. Now, the hard part is for me, Devon Achane is going just below him, and he's a little banged up. If we didn't have this calf injury, this would be the dumbest move I could see is taking Genty over Achane. I just feel like Achane's going to absolutely feast. I've got Chase Brown ranked above these guys as well. Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor feel just as safe as Genty. It's the culmination of everything. This team isn't great. We're hoping it's good because Pete Carroll's coming to town. The defense has some decent pieces on it. We're hoping the offensive line can be well, but I just think there's too many opportunities for things to go wrong that I would be okay passing on him for somebody who has just as equal opportunities finishing as high.
Yeah, I like the other side of this argument, but when I watched him play against San Francisco in the preseason game, and typically rookies have a welcome to the league moment. Yeah, he gave it to a veteran. He didn't have a welcome to the league moment. The veteran did when he stiff-armed a grown man into the ground and then just proceeded to run over more people. I get it. It's preseason, but that's all I have to go off of. And because usually people are a little leery about, yardage and everything else like that. But man,
that's got to be expected. The guy's like 6 foot tall. Of course he's going to be. No, he's 5'8".
Yes.
He's 5'8". He is 200
pounds. Yeah.
He's a thick boy, but
yes.
He is not big by Derrick Henry standards. So I guess all I'm saying is here, maybe it's not necessarily a bad pick. I just don't think it's a great pick. I think that you could make equal picks that have less gamble in it. Hey, we shoot for the stars. We go aim for win. In fantasy football, you go for first. Or second or third if there's a payout there, depending on your structure. But for the most part, you're going for first. And I just think that if you're trying to get away, he is literally going at 112 on all 3 platforms. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's about where he should go. Like, you are taking him, in my opinion, at his ceiling. But I also think he's going to produce at that level. I think he's going to be a steady Eddie guy. I don't know if he's going to be everyone thought Bijan would be the 101, coming shortly, but he's pretty close to it. I mean, he's got the role. I think Ashton Genty next year will be where Bijan is, and we don't know what the running back skill will be.
I guess this is where I can bring you in for this question then. What are the percentage chances that Omarion Hampton finishes within 2 spots of Ashton Genty?
Oh man, had the Slater news not happened, it'd have been pretty close. But I think with the O-line shift from the Chargers, like I think it's a lot different. I think Genty, because I still think at the end of the day, like Omarion Hampton's gonna be on the field by like week 5 or 6, because I don't know what the hell's going on with Najee Harris. I think he'll be at the clips of like 75% of the snaps. I think it'll be close.
So I see there being a higher chance of Hampton being in the top 10 than Genty being in the top 5.
I can agree to that statement.
When you're getting them, like one's going as RB6 and one's going at RB14.
That's not true. That's not true. I just did 3 drafts this week, and Omarion Hampton did not go RB14.
Okay, on average, his ADP
sounds good. I would love to be in a league where Omarion Hampton goes RB14. Please invite me to these leagues because I will join them, and he will not go RB14.
Hey, as of the data I'm pulling here from the 3 ADP sites, he is on average going as RB14. He's going behind James Cook, Kyron, Chase Brown, Bucky, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, and then your big 7. So
sounds good.
I'm just saying, if this is what's laid out in front of me, I'd rather take Hampton than Genty at the price.
I saw Bigfoot outside my house too. So
hey, look, when Javonte Williams absolutely shuts you down and shuts you up, man, I am going to get full range on what I can say on this show.
That's fine.
But
it's not going to happen. I'm not going to worry about it.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yes.
What you got? Who's your next guy?
My next guy is someone who I like coming out of college. I thought he did great for his rookie year. And now with the news of Rashee Rice, the ADP has kind of changed a little bit too, because he's starting to go a little bit ahead. It's Xavier Worthy. He is, in my opinion, he is going to be the most up and down wide receiver 2 you will ever own. And in my opinion, I just think it's going to be so difficult to properly think that he's going to be consistent with Rashee Rice. Because let's call it what it is. Rashee Rice is going to play the first 4 games. He's going to miss the next 6, and he's going to come back for the playoffs. And Xavier Worthy might look good from weeks 5 to 11 or 12. And then when Rashee Rice comes back, he's going to have a diminished role. You're going to be basically hoping for, let me look up a stat game that I think is pretty comparable to what I think it's going to be. Now, it's pretty silly. I would say it's going to be similar towards this Buffalo game where he had 4 catches for 61 yards and he had a touchdown. You're really hoping for a touchdown. But he is pretty consistent from what I saw from week 12 to week 15. 4 for 46, 5 for 54, 5 for 54, 6 for 46. I think that's what he is for the Chiefs. And they like that. They want him to be that because Rashee Rice is the guy they like a lot more. I just think you are drafting him because of this whole Rashee Rice debacle in hopes that he's going to perform as this wide receiver 2 and be the next Tyreek Hill. And I just don't think that's the case for him. I don't like his ADP. I avoid him at all costs.
I think the big reason I'd want to draft him is if I'm buying into that narrative of that touchdown, the one touchdown they scored in the Super Bowl, the one deep one that they got from Worthy when he got him through the back. That's all.
Yeah, the one where they're down by 28 points.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it was bad, but like that's what I miss from Patrick Mahomes.
Yes,
and I am so hard struck on where I have him ranked. I want to have him closer to QB6 than I do. And I've heard so many people lay out why this is going to be the year we bounce back. Matt Nagy's still there. Matt Nagy's been screwing us for a couple of years now. So I don't know how bought in I am to it. But if you believe that, if you are in that Chiefs stack or somewhere with that, that's where I could see you going for it. Because he is going with Cortland Sutton, Devonta Smith, Jameson Williams, Zay Flowers.
Oh, guys, I like more.
I'd take him over Zay Flowers.
Sure. George Pickens or Xavier Worthy. He's later.
Depending on the build. I could take them both depending on the build.
Okay. Jalen Waddle or Xavier Worthy.
Oh, Jalen Waddle. But hey, I'm about to make an argument where I've already talked about possibly having Jalen Waddle in my top 20 for wide receivers. So,
Okay, sure.
that
Calvin
one's.
Ridley.
I
You're
think I'd
debating
take
it.
Xavier Worthy. I think I'd take Xavier Worthy over.
Okay, but you got to sit there and really think about it. But there's a
I did.
problem, and Calvin Ridley is going at pick 72 on
Yeah,
Sleeper.
drastically later.
Yeah. So again, like I just think he's going way too early. The people are gonna. I like Mahomes. I have a couple autographed cards with him and Kelsey up there too. I just think that it's not going to be the payout that you expect it to be.
I respect that. All right. This one's gonna be cool. No, we already did Cook, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Cook was on my list, folks. Just if we're keeping score
He was on
of
my
who had
list
who,
too, so don't even.
he was on my list first. So
Okay, sure.
next guy I have is another one that actually got paid. We just talked about it. Terry McLaurin. I don't want it. Again, he's another high touchdown guy from last year. It wasn't pretty. I mean, I get it. Like I'm playing with the numbers here, and I'm taking away things that actually happened. But you take away those touchdowns last year, and those games could have been really ugly. We had, 6 for 53, two touchdowns. Two touchdowns definitely saved him. He had two catches for 19 yards. Those two catches, though, both touchdowns saved his game. So, we had a one catch for 10 yards. There was the 6 for 22, 2 for 17, 1 for 5. It's just so out of character for him to have, 13 touchdowns before that, 4, 5, 5, 4. Granted, he had quarterback. So I'll give you that argument there. But if you take those away, those aren't a sticky stat. It's something that's very volatile when it comes down to it. And probably the biggest piece that we can add onto this, yes, he's been paid, but guys who traditionally hold out through the preseason, they miss a lot of that action. They're not getting their bodies up to that acclimation. The chances of an injury are raised up, whether it be a severe one or just some sort of soft tissue, something or other, just because they're going into full game speed, not ready. So Terry McLaurin's just not something I'm clicking. Garrett Wilson's going right above him. It's an insanely risky pick, but Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice, depending on your build, they just feel so much, give you more oomph than Terry McLaurin. He just doesn't feel like he's giving that oomph. I'm gonna quit moaning into the mic now.
Don't do that again, please. God, that's so gross. Yeah, it's what's crazy for me for McLaurin is that like he basically has had the same stat line. What jumped him from wide receiver 14, basically his best season before that, to 7 was he averaged 7 his rookie year, which was great. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, and then 13. Like, now, granted, could Jaden Daniels repeat it? Absolutely. I could see that. I don't want to gamble on touchdowns. I want to gamble on what I know what he is, which is he's typically a 80 receptions, a little over 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That's usually what he is.
Yeah,
And he's a great wide receiver too.
Even with the great talent that he had last year at quarterback, he still didn't have a season high in yards. Which, if we're saying he's not a touchdown guy and this is a deep yards per catch guy, which traditionally he is, he's in that 13 to 15 range. This wasn't even his best season as far as yards going. So I just wonder, like, he had 117 targets, 82 catches. What do you think his best is? 90 catches maybe? Like, Debo is going to absorb targets. Not going to be near as deep, but like he fits really well in the Cliff Kingsbury system. Just dump offs behind the line of screen, easy little stuff there. So I just don't see it working for McLaurin to really be able to, like, without major injury. I don't think he could ever finish in the top 5.
Yeah, because like his stats are just weird. It's like his second best season for receptions, his third best reception in receiving yards. It's his like third best for seasons in yards per touch, yards per catch. It's about his third best, and then touchdowns. It's just the anomaly of the touchdown. So like, are you going to gamble on Jaden Daniels to really favor him again? Which you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't. Where he's going to for me is also the issue. It's like, obviously the whole Stafford situation made things a little dicey, but it looks like Stafford's going to play. So like, I like Devontae Adams. I like DK. It's where like that DJ Moore, Cartland Sutton. I just think he's going about 2 picks too early for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, same. All right. Now we got tight ends to talk about. It's gonna be really easy to poo-poo on these guys. Give me your tight end.
I mean, it sucks because he's also low hanging fruit, but it's just because of where he's going. It's Sam Laporta. Obviously, he was tight end 1 last year, and then he goes to tight end 8. I mean, he went from 120 targets to 83, 86 to 60. He only lost about, I don't know, 100 yards in receiving, a little bit little more, and then he was only 3 touchdowns short. So like that just shows like discrepancy for tight ends. It's a new year for this guy. And I mean, great. If you like that for him, like he's going in for most, I mean, for most leagues here, he's going as a tight end 5, if I'm not mistaken. No, tight end 4. Sorry. I could argue Hawkinson might have a better chance, maybe, but I mean, the whole JJ McCarthy thing. But like, I view him like right around the trap, like the Mark Andrews and Evan Ingram area, like David Njoku. I'd rather have Mark Andrews and Evan Ingram before I touch Sam Laporta this year. I think he's just going 2 rounds too early, in my opinion.
And I guess let me kind of just piggyback this on because my guy is going just soft of a round later. I've got Travis Kelce here. So Hawkinson on average is going at 604, Kelce going at 611. I just there's so many enticing like I hate wide receivers like 14 through 20-ish, 24 maybe, depending on whose list you're looking at. But then it beefs up there right at the late 20s, early 30s. There's a bunch of guys I really want to take a shot on. But would you rather have Hawkinson and Debo or Ted McMillan and Ingram?
Oh, Tevin McLaurin and Ingram for sure.
100%.
Higher
Both
upside.
those players are better. I have both of those. Or Ingram maybe not necessarily to Hawkinson. I could see where
Yeah.
Hawkinson still can finish it tight end 4. But just because he finishes at tight end 4 where he's being drafted doesn't mean that finishes out well. You know, you could still take him 3 rounds later, and that's where his equity would be there between if you ration that out between the players that are also finishing in that area. Would you rather have Hawkinson and I mean let's go Hawkinson and well he's hurt and Jaden Reed or Tyler Warren and Ted McMillan?
Tyler, it's just the higher upside. I play to win, so it's
Yeah.
Tyler Warren and McMillan.
So when you have these tight ends that are going 4-ish rounds later, 5-ish rounds later, that present the same essentially like probability of finishing as a middling tight end, and you're probably going to have to stream these guys. Which are you telling me you want to bench Hawkinson? No, you're not going to. So why put yourself in that position where you're like, I'm not going to bench him, even though maybe you should. Maybe the matchup dictates that. So I don't want anything to do with it, especially with Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce. Now, had Rashee Rice missed the first 6 games rather than games 5 through 10 or whatever it is, I'd be all in on Kelce because that makes him more enticing. But with Rashee Rice going to be there, I'll wait till Kelce hits the waiver wire.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
Dope. What else we got?
My last guy, it's the newly acquired. It feels like I'm crapping on Denver today, and I don't really mean that. I just think Denver's actually a really good team, and will be, trying to make that push to be in the Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes era for AFC. It's RJ Harvey, and RJ Harvey's in a great spot. He's with a guy who loves using his running backs, but he also likes using 2 running backs. RJ Harvey's going as pick, like he's going around like the 5th, 6th turn. And he's the second running back. I mean, granted, you're expecting, obviously, him to outbeat J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. Dobbins right now is RB1, and he's going on 103, which is 9th, 10th round, right? For most part?
Yeah.
Yes. I just rather have a guy that I think is going to get steady Eddie roll. And RG Harvey could have a steady Eddie roll, but I don't know if he's going to out-snap him by like 70-30. I mean, you're going to basically hope that his touches are just immaculate, that he's just getting, reception for 10 yards each time he touches the ball. Or when he gets the attempts, going in between the tough tackles, he's going to, break one off every single time. I think they're going to be a split 50-50, to be honest with you. And I just don't. And then maybe it might be a little bit biased for me. I just did 3 drafts this weekend. He went in the 4th round every single time. One by a Broncos fan. The others were by normal people who just like his ceiling. It's just a little leery for me.
The hardest part with this is I completely agree with you. I mean, J.K. Dobbins obviously is the better value there, but my biggest thing is if he continues to go here in the 4th, maybe 5th round in some drafts, I don't think I'll get a piece of him because if I don't draft him, people will have spent so much on him, and there's going to be so much in that hype question mark of like what if That who's going to trade? Like, I just don't see anybody trading him for a reasonable price with all of that baked in. So I guess it saddens me that if I don't spend up on him here in the draft, the chances of me getting to really play with Harvey this year are kind of slim to none.
Yeah.
But maybe that's okay. Maybe J.K. Dobbins comes back with his, what he had, 9 touchdowns, 900 yards last year?
Yeah, maybe go to ESPN and draft him, and I'll feel better.
Yeah, buddy. Why? I wish Sleeper had a setting where I can turn on ESPN ADP. I would do that in 100% of my leagues if I freaking could. All right, folks, we got to shut it down. We got to get out of here. We've got more episodes to bring you. Look for all the madness here, whether it's on the Fantasy Football Advice Network YouTube page or on our channel, the Too Much Fantasy Football page, where we have a little bit more explicit stuff, all of the extra stuff and the things we can't fit here. If you're looking for more of me, it's at @too_much_Brian on Reddit. Nope, on X. Holy crap, on X, at Too Much Brian. Everywhere else, including Reddit and all those fun things. Check out the podcast on Apple, Spotify, all those great things. Give us reviews. Brennan, what you got for us?
I'm on X at Too Much BMulk, and that's where I just stay at. I stay off of social media everywhere else, basically, and I just lurk.
Professional, Brennan. Come on, quit
Professional
laughing.
lurker. Professional lurker.
Yeah, there we go. All right, folks, we'll see you next time, and we'll catch you later.
Deuces.